Hey guys, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I want to talk to you today about the thing that the internet just loves to do, and that's insult one another. I mean, you look at any video and go down to its comments section and you'll see a menagerie of mean insults that I too have partaken in at some point in my life. But the one thing that unites us all, that turns gamers into a unified force, is when video games insult us. Now, we covered this topic last year on the channel, but once again I'm back to harvest them sweet clicks that sustain me. However, these aren't my picks. They're yours, taken from the last video. So yeah, if you don't agree with me on any of these, then you're shit out of luck, pal, because it ain't me who came up with this, it's you Wailing Gabos! You're welcome. So with this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com, and these are 6 video game endings that were profoundly insulting, commenter edition. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, dong. Number 6, Shadow of Mordor. For those of you like YouTube commenter Flibble who got to play this title, you'll realise that Shadow of Mordor is a quite delicious game about stabbing orcs in their porks, running around doing hardcore parkour, and just generally having a good time in the Lord of the Rings universe. That is until the ending. Up until this point, you'll see the joy of facing off against endlessly randomly generated warlords, enemies that truly do become your nemesis. Nemesis? Nemesii? Nemesi? Fucking bad dudes. Therefore, when you come up against Sauron, you're probably expecting a showdown of the ages. You know that deep down you can't really win against this ultimate Lord of Evil, but you can sure as hell try. You probably weren't expecting it to boil down to a quick time event. Yes, 5 or so button presses and you see off the Lord of Evil, and all you're left feeling is that maybe that wasn't the only ring that just got fingered. Absolutely disappointing. Number 5, Prey. Now, Stickin' D Bud says that Prey basically feels like Mass Effect, but with even more ass effect. And you kind of have to agree with him. For hours, this game presents itself as a survival horror FPS story with weight behind it, with an ominous promise that every single choice you make will have lasting consequences, which creates a feeling that you're slipping down a rabbit hole of bad vibes. Does it do anything with these promises? Does it bollocks? Unfortunately, the game boils down to a question of, so, good or evil? What are you gonna be? Oh, I'm sorry, Prey. I thought that this game had a bit more of a subtlety to it because of all the little tiny choices that I was making throughout the entire game, building up to maybe a larger thing of maybe there is no such thing as good or evil. Maybe there's just grey in between. But no, I'll just put on the halo or the fucking devil horns for you, will I? Number 4, Far Cry 5. Few games flip back and forth between fan adoration and animosity like the Far Cry series. Far Cry 4 picked up a fair bit of flack, but it was nothing compared to the fury felt across the internet by a significant portion of Far Cry 5 players upon completion of this game. Now, the bulk of Far Cry 5 sees the player undoing an Armageddon cult led by charismatic leader Joseph Seed. Then, as the game finally wraps around, we confront Seed with our handcuffs ready to go, and the player is left with one of 2 choices. Arrest Seed or else just walk away. 2 options. That's all you get. Now let me remind you that you've spent an entire game chasing this gaping arsehole, so why the f*** would you let him walk away? Oh, it's because of the brainwashing. Oh, it's because of the bullshit, you mean? Please don't yell at me. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to get so harsh on you, but it's absolutely lazy writing, isn't it? I agree. It was pretty lazy writing. I'm glad we can see eye to eye on this. You're not actually a bad guy. You're very handsome. We're going into places that I really can't go to on video. And the second option is that you basically go and try and arrest him and then nukes go off. Lazy bloody writing, just like this section. Yes, that's right, nukes go off and make everything just absolutely pointless. Top drawer, thanks Far Cry 5 for being more f***ed up than a redneck's family tree. Number 3, Outlast. So there's a rule in screenwriting. If you get to the end of your story and you're not sure how to wrap things up, why not try killing your character? It is as lazy as it sounds and is done mainly just to get a cheap pop out of the audience and also wrap things up neatly without you having to, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, try. And it seems that Outlast followed this school to the letter. This game is full of unspeakable horrors, yet the ending makes all of your hours of patiently waiting and hiding feel all for nothing. As your lad becomes possessed by some supernatural gubbins, he's then shot by the military, and it ends as it began, with you wondering what the f*** is going on. Now, the real cheeky thing about this is that the developers actually kind of released a real ending in their Whistleblower DLC, which I don't agree with, man. I don't think you should lock real endings behind paywalls. That is as bad a move as me letting one of your mums stay over at my real address house because now she won't f***ing stop pouring up the window like a hungry cat. She ain't coming in and I'll just spray her with the water bottle again. Even if she does like it. It's f***ing weird. There's my one per list. Number 2, Batman Arkham Asylum. Now listen. Batman Arkham Asylum is quite possibly the greatest Batman game ever. However, the ending feels less like the caped crusader gliding down to tackle vengeance in its righteous face, and more of a headlong first dive into a skip full of needles. Correct me if I'm wrong. The run-up to the Joker boss battle is well laid, building an intensity and craziness, and then it happens. The Joker injects himself with Titan and becomes the same boss that all the large lads we've dealt with in the game have been before. For the majority of the game, the Joker has been the perfect villain, taunting the Bat while executing his master plan perfectly across the night, and you start to hope that it's going to be a contest of wits rather than strength. But Nah, mate, it's now with a side of chips, because what you get instead is an ending that's more bloated than Josh Brown's writing. You know what? This ending, I'm mustering it up in my mouth right now. I spit on it. I spit on your ending. Rapid fire. And number 1, Half-Life 2, Episode 2. I bet you've just heard that and are already hovering your little mouse icon over the dislike bar, if you haven't clicked it already for my outrageous spitting just now. But hold on a minute, because while Half-Life 2 might be one of the greatest titles ever made, the ending is so profoundly disappointing. Not because it's bad, but because it makes you ask the question of where the f*** is Half-Life 3? I'm not going to be one of those people that just goes like, oh, my life's not going to be complete until it's out. But you tell me that completing Half-Life 2 and sitting there thinking, that was a bloody great game, I wish there was more of it. Oh wait, there's not. It's just a cliffhanger, one of the best cliffhangers, but by gum, I've got nothing else to do now. What do I do now? Do I go down to, man, it's closed because of Thatcher. What do? Do I look after my kids? Don't wanna. Chuck him down the man. It's just been forever left sitting on a shelf, and the worst thing is that Valve has the money, it has the time, and it could easily get most of the staff back, but they choose not to, which makes it inarguably insulting to the nth degree. And there we have it, those were 6 video game endings that were profoundly disappointing, commenter edition, written by you and bastardized by me. But before you go, I want you to check out something over on the wrestling channel, a show that I do called 5 Insane Things That Are Happening in Wrestling each week. Can you guess what that's about? And I also do stuff on the main channel as well, so go over there and spread some love. That would be absolutely amazing. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. If I don't spit on you first.